How to build an authority that creates a positive change in the world. That is the topic of the hour. Hello, good day, greetings, and salams to peeps from all around the world. Welcome to the live. Now, this particular series is called Impact 2.0, where we feature some kick-ass leaders making a dent in the universe in their own special way. Stick around till the end, and I promise you that you'll walk away with at least one, if not more, practical yet scrumptious takeaways from each of these live sessions, like an ice cream sundae topped with heavy whipped cream, melted dark chocolate, and a dash of gold dust. But most importantly, if you turn up live, you'll get a chance to engage in the conversation with the guest. Now, today's guest believes that we research not to be the smartest person in the room, but to listen to others and get informed. She's a prolific author, coach, strategist, publisher, and a globetrotter, which we'll get to talk more about in the session. So will you please put your virtual hands together to welcome my fantabulous guest, Dawn Bates.
Hola, chica.
Hello, how are you doing, Dawn?
Alhamdulillah, kula kwayesa.
Hey, Kaleem has already joined us. Hey, Kaleem, thank you for joining us.
Assalamualaikum, Kaleem.
Kaleem is based in US, and I have to get this right. I think in Boston. I hope I got it right. Don't kill me, Kaleem. Paul is here as well.
Like, the thing is, you called him Kaleem, and my brain switched automatically to Arabic to say salam, Kaleem.
I'm not sure if Kaleem knows any Arabic.
Most Arabs I meet don't know as much Arabic as I do.
Paul is here. Paul's based in South Africa. Welcome,
hey, Paul. How are you? Where are you in South Africa?
Yeah, he can answer that in the chat now. Now, before we get into the rice and curry of this conversation, we are going to...
it's biryani.
Yes, biryani of the conversation. We are going to start off the show with the quick fire round. Are you ready, Dawn?
No, but yes, always.
You are ready. I'm telling you, you're always ready. I know you, okay? So, number one, what is the most readable fashion style you've ever worn?
Oh, do you know, as soon as I'm like, it has to be this tracksuit that my mother bought me from. I had failed to put my clothes in the washing machine, and my mum has this rule: you want your clothes washed, you put them in the washing machine. Yeah. I'm like it with my boys, and I had forgotten, so she bought the worst, cheapest, nastiest tracksuit and sent me to school in it. That has to be it. That has to be it.
It has to be it.
I learned a lot from that experience. All my clothes are always washed now.
and by the way, I'm the same with my kids. I tell them if they're not in the washing machine, they're not getting washed. So you have to go to school in dirty uniform. By the way, I got it wrong, Kaleem. Sorry, Kaleem. Now you have to tell everybody where in US are you based. I always get it wrong. Okay, next question. What can you do today that you were not capable of a year ago?
Speaking Portuguese.
Oh, yes. I know you speak a lot of languages. Let people know how many languages do you speak?
Okay, so I speak Arabic, Spanish, Portuguese, English, some Italian, some French, some German. I can sail in German and in Italian. But and the thing is with the Spanish and Arabic, it's the أنا عندك عربي شوربة في مخي, i.e. I have Arabic soup in my head, and it's the same as Spanish. So when people listen to me in Arabic, they're like, which Arab country are you from?
You're from.
Because you've got a bit of Shami, you've got a bit of Maghribi, you've got Masri, you've got Gulf Arabic, and it's the same with Spanish. I've got European, Chilean, Argentinian. So
you're a white Arab, Arab soul in a white English person.
Absolutely, I'm a reverse coconut, as I used to say back in the day.
Coconut. I like that. Yes, I got it right. Paul said it is Boston. So Kaleem is based in Boston. All right. And Paul says Josie. Do you know where that is in South Africa?
San Jose.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oops. Is that San Jose? I don't know.
What did you say? Where is he?
He typed Josie. I'm assuming that's.
Oh, he's in Joburg. Joburg?
Oh my God.
Johannesburg?
Oh, I don't know the lingo. Yes, Johannesburg.
You gotta get with it.
Yeah. All right. The last one for the quickfire round. What is your greatest hope and biggest fear?
My greatest hope is that me being away from my children, sailing around the world, leading, and as my youngest said, Mummy, you've got more people to serve than just us two. Actually, yeah, he gets it.
Yeah.
My greatest hope is that they actually step out of the virtual reality world and take that stupid bloody helmet off their head and actually go and experience the world. But also in the same vein that me actually going off around the world to do this doesn't have the double-edged sword of that they're never going to leave their family behind. And then, so yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one,
but I'm sure that, you know, them watching you, what you are doing, the difference you're making, it's probably going to be, you know, the prior rather than the latter one. And, you know, they would want to explore.
Yeah, I mean, they're already demanding jet skis to go on the yacht and, you know, first class travel and then business class because first class is not enough. I'm like, excuse me, you're going cattle carriage.
Yeah.
So, unless you know what it's like, unless you do the work that you said you're going to do, you're going in with the cattle, and then you'll go into economy, and then you'll go into economy plus, then you'll go into either business or first, because you've got to understand what it is to actually experience that, because unless you can experience that, then you don't really fully comprehend the effort and the time and the value of it all. So don't take anything for granted, boys, because I can't do the eyebrow raise. I just send them that little emoji with the eyebrow.
Yeah, that's it. that would do. Paul says, amen to that. Traveling the world is the best experience. Yeah,
they say they don't sail yet because it's boring. Yeah, it's 360-degree views of blue, which is great for me. But they've been flying around the world since they were 11 by themselves.
Yeah, but I mean, and you're sailing around the world now, which we will obviously get into it more. Kaleem did confirm that he does not speak any Arabic.
Ida.
All right, it's now time to get into the rice and curry or biryani of this conversation.
Biryani. Oh, I love biryani.
You're missing biryani.
I am so missing Indian food, honestly.
Yes, well, unfortunately, virtually, I cannot. We can do everything virtually except me, you know, serving you food or hosting you. With real food. Let's start with a Mythbuster. So, Dawn, imagine I'm holding a pair of boxing gloves. Could you take this from me and smash for me, but not my face, please, but some kind of myth around maybe the future of business, a bogus strategy, or a misconception, and set the record straight once and for all?
Okay, I'm going to choose one in the publishing world. And the writing world, because so many people are being told that it takes a long time to publish a book and to get a book of substance and quality out there. It takes a long time. It's a really laborious. No, it's not. If I can write a book and get it published, everything done, an international bestseller on 3 continents in 14 days, from standing in my kitchen and saying to my dog, I'm going to go write this book. Then, you know, it's possible.
I don't know anyone who writes like you.
Who writes? No one does.
Seriously. You're a machine.
No, I'm not. I'm human. I'm just an opinionated little madam, as my mother would say. No, this is what this whole thing is about. It's about knowing your subject, knowing what's in your heart, and knowing what you were born for. And being able to write from that space, know that you're that authority. But again, it's like we're seeing, and the myth that's attached to that is this whole PR thing, which really rattles my cage, and I know you know this, right? Where PR companies are saying, "Go on, write a book, and you know, get it out there, collect people's email addresses. This is a really great way to do." But no, it's not. It's not a great way to do business, because if you're putting out a substandard book just to collect people's email addresses, and you're doing it like, I get the intention, you know, you're doing it, just tell people you want their email address. But you will send them a workbook, or you will send them a PDF. Don't tell them you're going to send them a book. Because to write a book, you need to be an author, or which means you also and to be an author is an authority on a subject.
So I like
the hands. Can you see the hands? The Arabic hands, ya Kaleem.
Yes. So yes, I mean, told everybody Dawn is not for the faint-hearted, but you go straight in. You don't beat around the bush.
Arab.
But yeah, I do. I think maybe like 10 years ago, it was being an author was like that. But since Amazon came and publishing became so much easier, everything sort of changed.
Amazon is a litter bin of literature. Oh, we should write that down.
Paul goes boom. Yeah, I told you.
It is.
Yeah. So
because it's allowing people to put out substandard work, Canva chaos creation book covers. I mean, you don't want me anywhere near your book cover with any kind of design software. But if you want a book that's going to actually add value and actually have a positive, make a positive difference in the world, and actually showcase you as the business expert that you are, you know, the reason why we've got all of this success and influence is because we're meant to do something with it. And when we put out, am I allowed to say half-assed? Or
yeah, go for it.
Right. If you're going to put out a half-assed substandard book, then this is telling other people, that's what your kind of work is like. You know, just tell people you're sending them a PDF, you know, a 5-page PDF, a 10-page PDF, an article. You know, it's not a book. Let's be honest, it's not a book. And I get it's a pamphlet. You know, and this is the thing, pamphlets were at the very beginning of the publishing industry. Yes, it's a stepping stone. Yes, it's an introduction to who you are. But and I know that you and I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. It's like, I used to be a waitress, but I don't keep waitress on the top of my profile. You might have written a book 10, 15, 20 years ago, but if you're not actually using that book to actually add value and make a difference in the world, why do you still keep calling yourself an author? Because it's ego, it's prestige. I don't have paper girl, farm girl, strawberry picker, waitress, hotel manager, head chef, you know, sales administrator, and every single job title I've ever had. Or go, oh, actually, that one's got more prestige to it. I'm going to keep that one.
Shahada
what is my job now?
Listening to this.
Who?
Shahada is having a lot of fun listening to your conversation.
Shahada?
Yes. She's a good friend.
Is this the one that you sent me the? I haven't listened to that. That's scheduled for tonight for me to listen to. I'm so looking forward to that.
That was a great interview.
I hope they all are.
So because before we get deeper into why we're talking about it, what makes you an authority on, you know, making a positive change in the world, maybe let's share a little bit about what you with the audience. I already know you, but what you do and why do you do it?
Well, why do I do what I do? I don't feel I've got a choice. It's this. Like, there's a meme that went out a while ago that I'm not going to watch what I say because I'm just as surprised at what comes out of my mouth as you lot are. You know, like what comes out of my mouth surprises me because I'm like, wow, I should have recorded that. Oh, I should have written that down. But what do? I've been told I light a fire under people. I help them extract their purpose. I sail around the world. I speak my mind.
Yeah.
I show up. I walk the walk. I'm not, you know, I sunbathe a lot by the pool while writing a book. I write a lot of books, and I love being of service to people. My main, professionally, I guess, I help extract people's purpose and help them make sense of it. Like, why is it that I've been through all of these things, and what is it I'm supposed to do with it all? Why have I had this level of success and influence, and what do I do with it now? I take people that have either been in the corporate world and want to set up a business, but actually want to do a heart-centered business. And I do it through getting them present to it. And 9 times out of 10, people do end up writing a book. I mean, I've been writing books for 10 years. We're about to relaunch my first 3 books into 4 books, because I'm like, are we still having these same conversations that I was having 10 years ago? Yeah. Like, really, seriously. Matt Ridley, with your Red Queen theory, the more we evolve, the more we stay the same.
And unfortunately, we are. Hey, Amin is here. He's saying that Simon Sinek's The Infinite Game is an awesome example of books with purpose.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Simon didn't put out a pamphlet on it.
Yeah.
There is substance to the book, and it doesn't matter about the word count. You know, I've written books of 35,000 words. I've written books of 177,000 words, you know, 77,000 words, and like, I don't know, everything in between.
Yeah.
It's the substance. Why are you writing it? Because some books do get written in 30,000 words.
Yeah.
I could write that in 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. I average about 15,000 words a day in a book when I sit down and I do it. But that has had a precursor to it. I've thought about it, or I've had that story, or I've had that knowledge or that experience, and then I'm sharing it. But the thing is, it's making, when you write something, when you put something to paper, you know, and we can use the cliches, you know, it's called spelling for a reason, because you're casting a spell, and you know, we all know you know, I'm a bit witchy woo. But if we're going to put our time and our effort and our money and our voice out there, do it properly. You know, say something that's worthwhile saying, even if you're doing it with a giggle. And I know that a lot of people, they see, you know, oh, she's a giggler, and I'm like, yeah, because some of the subjects I write about, some of the subjects I know about, if I didn't learn to giggle in amongst all of that,
you'll go crazy.
I'd be in a mental asylum.
Yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't be Dawn Publishing International, it'd be Dawn Mental Institute.
And I like that about you, that you do talk about, you know, a lot of people shy away. I mean, we have spoken about this earlier as well. A lot of people shy away from talking about serious stuffs, things that are happening around us, but we are either well, I wouldn't say, you know, in this day and age, you can be ignorant sometimes. Okay, maybe few are ignorant, but the others are just choosing to shut their eyes. Yeah.
That's not going on. Pizza's here.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? You know, what?
I think there's several reasons for that, Amber, because people have got so afraid of upsetting other people. Political correctness has gone so stupidly wrong. People are so afraid of offending people that they shut down part of who they are. People want to people please. People have been told that by the corporate world that if you put this out on social media, we are going to find it. People have been locked down into secrecy. We've got this whole thing about cancel culture now. You cannot say anything that's going to upset somebody, because poor delicate Daisy and delicate Derek, you know, they're going to be oh so offended by what it is that's going on in the world. And you know what? They are part of the problem. Yeah. The ones who are so easily offended by what's going on in the world are part of the problem, and why these things are still happening in the world. You know, when you ignore something, it's like, for example, I've always used the analogy that if I broke a glass, if I dropped a glass and broke it and just swept it under the carpet, The more I keep walking on it, that glass is going to come back and it's going to cut my feet. And that's what's happening. The reason why sex trafficking happens in the world, the reason why narcissism happens, and why women stay, and women and men stay in abusive relationships, and why people stay in jobs they hate, is because they are afraid of upsetting someone, or they're afraid of who they truly are. And when you're afraid of who you are, it's because you've allowed other people to tell you that you're too much, or you're too this, or you're too opinionated, is something I get told. Yeah, but my opinions come from research, knowledge, and experience. It's not just an opinion just to have an opinion, like the Facebook experts out there.
Yeah. And I've seen it more in the corporate world, where, you know, there's so many leaders out there. They, you know,
they call themselves leaders.
Yeah, but I also understand sometimes that they don't want to talk about stuff because they fear that it wouldn't be taken appropriately by the organization they work for, or the people they work for.
It's the wrong organization for them then.
It's so that's a different mindset. So that's what I want to talk about. Like, how does a person get there? Because if they are stuck in that position, right, they want to speak about, they want to be themselves, right? They are in a position, they have a platform to do so, but maybe, you know, fears of such kind are keeping them behind. What needs to be done? What is the next step for them?
Well, they can hire me, which would be the first step. That would be a good idea.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
But what they need to be doing is they need to be looking for an organization that actually is doing the kind of work that this person wants to be doing. If you're, you know, there are so many corporations out there, are so many businesses out there. You know, entrepreneurialism is one of the biggest growth industries, other than the, you know, the poor me mentality industry. You know, and if you truly want to be the person you were born to be, and you truly want to be this person that is inside of you screaming to get out, because let's be honest, again, if you ignore that, it's going to come back. Like, universe will give you love nudges. Universe will then poke you. Universe will then put on those boxing gloves you referred to a little while ago, and then the universe is going to come and punch you in the face. And then if you still ignore the punches in the face, you're going to be sat down, you're going to suffer some kind of illness, or you're going to suffer some kind of huge setback until you listen. The universe has a way of guiding you to where it is you need to be. And the thing is, if people are working within an organization where they do not feel that they can be themselves, they need to start looking for an organization where they can be themselves. But I also think that it actually starts with when you're applying for a job, or you're looking out to set up on a career, you have to remember that you are vetting the organization and their culture and their environment as much as they are checking you out. And I think a lot of people forget that. They go into a workplace, they go into a job interview thinking, am I going to be good enough? Are they going to accept me? They never ask, is this organization good enough for me? Am I going to accept this organization? Yeah.
But you know, a lot of people may say to that I don't have a choice, because I you know, I applied for 100 interviews. This is the one I got to take it because I got a family to feed. Right.
Okay. Well, instead of keep looking for jobs, look for clients instead.
Yeah. And that takes courage, you see. So we're moving into a slightly different arena that, you know, a lot of people are fearful of that. Yeah. And that's why they settle with what's been given to them. Right. That because, I don't know, that they don't have enough courage, or they're fearful that if they become courageous, something will go wrong. Right. And so they stop themselves there, and they just go, okay, it's okay. I'll just accept where I am and what I have.
I'll just accept less than I deserve. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll accept less than I want, because And I get it, you know. Well, I don't get it. I have never understood it. I've been running businesses since I was 21 years old. I was the little girl that sat there with a suit jacket on, writing out checks to herself.
Yeah.
You know, and pretending that I was running a business and paying, like, writing out paying in slips to my bank, i.e. my mum's bank. I'm paying in all this money, and I never realized what I was doing back then. I always knew that I would have my own company. One of the reasons why I studied to be a hotel manager and head chef was because I was like, I don't really know what I want to do, but I know I'm going to run a business. When you become a hotel manager, you learn how to run a business.
Absolutely.
So you're learning all about it, you know, reception, finance, marketing, you're looking about housekeeping, you're learning the whole lot. And you're actually being put into a hotel, and if you can deal with the public in a hotel, you can deal with the public anywhere. Like, seriously, I don't like working with the general public. I really don't. I haven't got the patience.
And I think that that want of Leonard Cohen is in the house. Paul's going, okay. That desire to make a positive change in the world has to be there, right? So only then you're able to make that change, or take the choice of, okay, I do not fit into this organization, hence I have to go my own way, right? That desire has to be there. And I think, I don't know, maybe I personally feel that's lacking in a lot of people. Maybe you would have a different point of view, that maybe there's something else. It's not a desire thing. Maybe it's something else. I know personally for me, it was just like you, the same. There was the desire that I knew I wanted to run my own business at, 18, 19, 20. I just didn't know what it was going to be. I tried various different things, from boutique clothing to selling household stuff, everything under the sun. But it's because of that desire that I knew that I didn't fit into the box. And I couldn't do that.
I think, no, I don't think I know. That when we are afraid to go after what it is that we want, it's because we've got the wrong people around us. And I've always said environment is everything, whether it is the environment within our body, the foods we're putting in our body, the environment that we're in at the moment. Well, I'm in at the moment. I mean, as you can see, this is not a green screen. This is a tiki hut in the north of Brazil. A very beautiful tiki hut, I will admit. And people think I'm brave for getting on a boat and crossing an ocean. And I don't think anything of it. I'm like, well, I just want to go do it. If I die in the middle of the ocean, at least I'm dying doing something I've wanted to do. I could still be back in the UK, crossing the road to go to the park to walk my dog and get hit by a bloody car. It's not, would I rather be hit by a car, crossing the road outside of a pub in Sheffield, not that I go in a pub, because I don't drink, as you know, or would I rather die on a boat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean? Like when I jumped off the boat in the middle of the Atlantic, when we'd been in the doldrums for 5 days. 3, 4, 5 days, I don't know, it was all a bit of a blur. We've done like anchor, well, we didn't do anchor watch. You can't drop an anchor in the middle of the Atlantic. We're 2.5 weeks away from land. You're in the doldrums. I'm like, it's so hot, I'm going for a swim. I jump off the boat. And I was like, oh, this is so good. But the water on the top was really quite warm because it's in the doldrums. We're at the equator. So I dived down under. Oh, it was so beautiful. And the further down I went, the colder the water went. And people were like,
are you crazy?
Jumped off a boat in the middle of the island. It was hot. I needed a swim. They're like, weren't you scared of sharks? I was like, I didn't even think about the sharks. Why would I think about sharks? I'm going for a swim. And the same is the thing for when you're setting up a business. When you know and it's not even about thinking I'm going to run a business. It's like, this is what I want to do. This is what I have to do. And yes, I might have kids to feed. I've been there. I've had to sell my car to pay rent. I had to send my boys to go live with their dad because I couldn't afford to feed them when the Scotland saga kicked off. I've lived on boiled rice and Tabasco. Tabasco's great. I mean, I went off rice for a bit. I went off rice for a bit, you know, having eaten it for non-stop with, you know, variation. You know, am I going to put those herbs, dried herbs and Tabasco with it today? Am I just going to have Tabasco, or am I going to have dried herbs? You know, I've been there. I've raided the camping kit, you know, and eaten tinned food. Like tinned food. Oh my God, Dawn ate tinned food. What the hell's going on in the world?
Now you can't even think about it.
No, but you see, the thing is, it was, and I know that, you know, I don't even eat beans. Well, I eat beans like feijoa or fool. I love that. You know, but that's proper beans. You know,
not canned beans.
Why would you put stuff in cans?
No, I know. I only discovered canned beans when I came to the UK. So
I think for me, I grew up in Norfolk, well, Cambridgeshire. So for me, we didn't need to eat stuff out. And it is the farmer snobbery in me, because my granddad had a vegetable garden. My dad worked on the farm. We had loads of veggies all the way around us. So for me, tinned food was like, why would you do that? Just go to the field and grab them. And again, in my ignorance, and I get this. So it's not that I think I'm better than everybody else. I certainly don't. But the thing is, it's like when you see something happening in an organization that you work in, again, if you stay silent, you are part of the problem within the organization. If you are just taking a job just to take a job to feed your family, you're not conscious. And I know, again, that's people like, oh, it's all right for her, blah, 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 you know, around the world, blah, blah. But choosing to stay stuck in a job, or choosing to stay stuck in a relationship, or in a neighborhood, or in a group of people, goes back to you are choosing to stay stuck. You are choosing to accept less than you deserve. There is abundance in the world. And if you are applying for jobs and getting knocked back, it's because those jobs are not the right one for you. Every knockback is a wake-up call. Every time someone says no to you, it's an opportunity for you to go, okay, why do I keep getting a no? Do I really want this job? Do I really want to work for this kind of organization? Is this where I'm best serving humanity? Is this where I'm best serving the world? Is this where I'm best serving my soul? You know, those people that believe in God, and I know there are lots of people out there that believe in God, they believe in source, they believe in universe, whatever, the divine, whatever you want to call it, whatever label you want to give it, even if you call it science. There is abundance in the world everywhere you look. And people go, oh, but what about hunger? There are people going without. Hunger in 2021 and poverty in 2021 only happens because the governments in that country allow it to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
If you don't believe me, go read Homo Sapiens. Great book.
And
Homo Deus.
And which one?
And the follow-up, Homo Deus.
Oh, okay.
Brilliant.
But you're right. The signs are all around us. We're just choosing to ignore them. And not just the signs, but what you spoke about earlier is we refuse to listen to ourselves. You know, we pay so much less attention to ourselves, you know, because it all starts from us, right? Until we are true to ourselves, we're not going to be able to make any difference in the world.
No. And the thing is, when we don't listen to ourselves, we tell our children that they're not worth listening to either.
Yeah, true.
We teach them that I'm not. If I was to talk to Khalid and Nasser, like, my boys won't listen to me unless I listen to me. They can't respect me unless I teach them to respect me. And I can't teach them how to respect me unless I respect me.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, if I'm doing a job I hate, or if I'm doing a job where I'm not happy, I'm teaching my children to do a job that they're unhappy with. I'm teaching my children to stay in a job that they don't like. I'm teaching my children to suffer. Why would I do that? Why?
Yeah. And that's a cycle we see all around us keep repeating.
Look, I mean, you only have to look at the corporate world, Amber, and I know I've just cut you off. I'm really sorry. I'm going into full-on Arabic mode now, right? You're used to this, right? But just imagine what our kids are seeing, like so much of. And I remember doing, before I left the UK all those years ago, I remember doing this careers workshop for one of the private schools. And I was like, look at what you're doing every day, guys. And I also did this talk at the library, and I kind of I did offend a few people, but you know, nothing new there. I was saying that what our sons are seeing is men hanging themselves as a noose every day, going into work, drinking coffee because they're tired, eating food that's toxic for them and filled with it. Well, it's not really food, is it? Let's be honest.
Yes.
It's stuff that looks like food and injected with the poison and God knows whatever it is. If you can't read it and spell it, don't eat it. Simple rule. And they're tired, they're moaning, they don't like their job, they're exhausted, they've got more stress. And that is the example of what we're teaching our children. That's what work is. Okay. And we're teaching them that suffering is more important than the happiness. And they're coming home and they're seeing the parents argue or like not engaging with one another, not loving on one another. And that's what children are seeing. So they don't want to work, they don't want to get married, they don't want to have kids because, you know, we're working really hard to put a roof over your head. Nice. Thanks for the guilt trip. So sorry, I was born, you know, for you to actually go out to work. And actually have to suffer just so that you can put a roof over my head. No, that we shouldn't say that to our children. Why should we say that to our children? They would, you know, and then you've got to look at it. There's so many of these people that are, when I was doing this event about, you know, what it was to start a business. If you want to start a business and you think it's too hard, it's because you're listening to the wrong people. You're putting all of this time and effort into looking for jobs when you could be putting all that time and effort into looking for clients. All of that time and effort you are putting into working for someone else, making someone else's dream come true. And I know this is a cliche, but you could be doing it for yourself. Okay. But the other thing is how many entrepreneurs, you know, are looking for advice from people who are these business mentors, government paid business mentors. And this is where I do offend a lot of people. Just giving you all a bit of a warning. If you are relying on business advice from someone who is being paid by the government and that funding runs out and that business advisor then gets out of a job, you're taking advice from someone who's relying on government benefits, not from somebody who has built a business. Because if they're in business, they're not going to care whether there's government grants or not. They're not going to know. They're not going to care if that funding runs out or not, because their business is going to still keep going, and they're going to still keep mentoring, and they're going to still keep being an advisor to people starting out. But if that business advisor that you are listening to is only a business advisor while there's government funding around, how is that any different from them being on benefits? It's not any different.
I never thought about it that way, but yes, it makes sense. It makes sense. Well, I wanted to talk more about because you obviously you have master classes, you've got accelerators, you're doing a lot of about building authority that actually is about creating positive change in the world. So let's talk a little bit more about what steps does it take to do that? What's involved in it?
What, in creating it, or
well, no, building authority in building. If you know, if somebody was genuinely interested about creating that space for them and they want to be seen as a genuine authority on a subject and not somebody we've already spoken about. then what are the things they need to keep in mind?
Well, they need to understand, first of all, who they are. Okay. I mean, if we use the Authority Mastermind collection that I've created, what we've got 7 modules, and each of those 7 modules have got 7 topics within them. And the first 2 modules are leadership-based modules. And one of them is about understanding leadership from the past, not just from the last 100 years in a political or a commercial aspect, but we're going back 2,000, 3,000 years of leadership here, and looking at the models. So, we're going to be looking at 𝙧𝙚𝙚𝙚, right, and looking at what he actually brought to it. We're going to be looking at C.J. Walker. Okay, she's only like a couple of hundred. Well, I can't say a couple of hundred. She's only 100 years old. Or she's not. She's dead. But you know what I mean. But again, it's like, unless we learn what it was to be a leader during those times, we can't understand what it is to be a leader in today's times. Because so many of us are going, oh, I'm a leader, but you're not a leader. You're not creating global positive global change. You're just calling yourself a leader because it's the latest buzzword. So what is it that this was true? What did these leaders truly embody, and what is it about? And then the next module is all about, natural born leaders. So I've chosen 3 animals. Well, one of them is a mammal, from the animal world, and looking at what that leadership is and what that brings to the table. Because once you've truly understood what it is that resonates with previous leaderships and current leadership models, then you understand what kind of leader you want to be.
And what do you bring to the table?
What do you bring to the table? What is it that when you're with your friends, you're not in work mode, you're not, when you are your natural self, like I am 100% of the time, I make no bones about who I am. I am Dawn. When people say, who are you? I'm like, well, I'm Dawn. Take it or leave it. And the thing is, then you've got to look at what is it that you and your friends talk about. That thing that gets your go every single time, and that gets you on that pedestal that you have a rant about. What is that thing? That's your social change. That's where and because you've studied it, you've lived it, you've witnessed it, it's that thing that's in you. It's like trying to get itself out. It's like the alien in that film. And you've been pregnant. It's like the baby when it's like moving around. You've got an elbow that goes like and then when you've done that and you've looked, okay, well, this is social change, but how is that impacting people around the world? Well, for example, the 9-year-old girl that's in this village that's pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. But 12 and 14-year-old girls are normally pregnant in this kind of village. This is the thing. 9 years old, it's really done my head in. Really done my head in. Because then you have to look at, okay, well, where else is this happening in the world? Okay, why is this still happening in the world? Okay, if that really impacted me the way it impacted me, okay, well, I know that that's happening in a small remote village. I'm in a remote village in the north of Brazil, on the edge of the Amazon at the moment. I know that this happens in other parts of the world. But why is it still happening? Okay. And then we've got to look at the culture of that. Now, I know if Ricardo was on here, Ricardo would be messaging like the culture, small culture, and then the subcultures within the small cultures, but what is it saying about my culture? That's allowing this to happen. And why am I allowing it? And why am I using the word allow? It's got nothing to do with me, but it's got everything to do with me. Because if I wouldn't allow my daughter, I don't have a daughter, but I grew up in a village smaller than this, and we didn't see a 9-year-old girl or a 12-year-old girl get pregnant. The only difference though between me and that girl is I was born in England, not in the north of Brazil. Okay, and then we've got to look at the human rights aspect of it. So the thing is, these might seem like really big topics, but they're not really. Like my business is underpinned by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights law. I look at international law.
Mm.
And the thing is, I'm a geek. I am a total geek. Like, give me a textbook and knowledge. I read and I read more, and then I'll read some more, right? And this is the thing, when you are so passionate about something, and you could talk about it all day long and you can back it up, that's when you become somebody who can step into that authority. But when you write a book from that space, when you write that book from passion, when you write that book from experience and knowledge and research, and you're not afraid of your own research, because this is something that we're also experiencing in the world. There are so many people who have told us that our own research cannot be trusted. We're being told that we have to go to experts. Well, you know what? Those experts, we have same access to all the books that they've had. And the thing is, because I haven't gone into university to study it, and I've gone, oh, there's a link, rabbit hole. Oh, there's another link, there's another rabbit hole. Oh, that brings me full circle. I've probably got a deeper, wider understanding of that subject than the person who has gone into academia and gone down that hole. Because my brain, I mean, I've said this to you before, if I was born in the 80s and the 90s, I'd be off my face on Ritalin now. But because I was born in the 70s, I'm an inspiring entrepreneur. But you have to, that thing that's in you, that you know about, that you are passionate about, when you can talk about that without even having to think about it, you're already an authority on it. If you can back it up. Never be afraid of your own knowledge. Never be afraid of your own voice. But people are, because we're taught to be.
And also, I mean, Dawn, we can see it even today, in these days, that if people like you or myself, who even try to be a little bit different, because we've done our own research and we have our own point of view because of that research, you know, people will give you labels like you're a rebel, or what is it? You're a theorist, or I mean, I've heard so many labels, like as if to say that what everybody is doing, what you're told to do, that's the right thing to do, and when you don't do it, you are cuckoo, right?
Well, right? I mean, we all know I'm cuckoo. But you know, absolutely every conspiracy theory that I've come up with has been an absolute truth. I said probably about 5 or 6 years before I left Egypt, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Britain left Europe. Oh, what? You're talking rubbish. Oh yeah, I did. And even before the Egyptian uprising happened, I was like, oh, you know what? There's going to be massive changes. Like, it can't sustain this. This is just not sustainable. Because the thing is, when something like the internet is created, and people start sharing knowledge, and people start seeing the world for what it truly is. One of the reasons why Mubarak cut off the internet was because he was afraid of what was going to be shared and what people would think about what was going on. One of the reasons why all this cancel culture is going on, and why YouTube and Facebook and all of those now are no better than state TV. If you're watching if you're believing everything you're seeing on these, and if you're watching everything that's coming out of the WHO and the CDC, then you know you're doing nothing but watching state TV. Let's be honest. Right? Because when we were in Tahrir Square, surrounded by millions of people, and state TV is saying, oh, there's a few hundred people. There's more than a few hundred people in Tahrir Square on a normal Saturday afternoon. That you know, like, it's Cairo. It's Tahrir Square. It's right by the Corniche. It's right by the museum. You know, it's right down by some of the best plumbing restaurants and cake shops that you're going to see in the whole of the Arab world, apart from if you're in Lebanon. But there we go. And so the lies that were coming out, but when people are trying to, I like to use it as a parenting model, right? As a parent, I don't want my child to be near a sharp knife or to tip boiling water over me or over them. Over them. That's probably a bit of a better parenting model. Do what you like to me, self-sacrificing. But you then have something that you distract them with. So they don't go down that route. When we are educated and we are taught to attack people who think differently to us, we have been programmed to attack people of different color. We have been programmed to attack people of different languages, people of different faiths, from different countries, from different genders, from different sexualities. We've been programmed. People, they have been trialing this whole thing that's going on now for the last 50 years with food. They've been testing how much are people willing to put inside of their body and how much are people willing to neglect their body by putting all of this stuff in their body without question. When someone says to you, I will give you this if you have a donut, or I'll let you get out of prison for half your sentence if you have this. Red flags. Red flags. Not if this was in a relationship between a man and a woman, this would be the typical narcissistic sociopathic relationship. And you would be saying to your friends, you need to get out of that relationship.
Alarm bells will be ringing.
Alarm bells, like foghorns, like you know, like the big horns that I hear on those boats. You know, they would be going. But the thing is, it's like people have been they're so afraid of admitting that they're wrong. They're so afraid of so many things, so that when people like us show up and say, actually, I'm prepared to stand by myself and keep believing in what I talk about and keep believing in what I say because I've done my research. And if you are offended by what I say, it's because you're afraid you don't know enough. If you are offended by what I say, that's because there's something for you to look into. When my ex-husband told me that I was arrogant, I was like, what? I'm not. Okay, I'm going to go look at that. I'm going to go look at why would he say I'm arrogant? We were married at the time. It's self-reflection. When people are not prepared, so for example, some of my posts on social media, they are quite long. They take about 2 to 3 minutes. Like that's not very long. They'll watch a 2 to 3 minute video, but they won't read for 2 to 3 minutes. I can guarantee you they're not reading the scientific papers that I'm reading. I can guarantee you they're not reading the genome theory documents that I'm reading. I can guarantee you they are not reading the political theories I'm reading. Because if 2 to 3 minutes worth of social media posts they're not reading the stuff I'm reading.
And you know, you brought up a great point, because in the past 10 years we have been, you know, the media has been dumbing us down. If you notice, it's all about dumbing the majority down. Social media does that amazing.
So they don't ask smart questions. Why do you think education systems are broken all over the world? Because the thing is, when the education system is broken, you can't get the jobs that you want. You can't get the abundance. You don't have the confidence to challenge something. When the education system is broken, you're not asking smarter questions. We all have to remember that the people that are in power are civil servants. They are employed by the civilians to serve the higher purpose. The civil servants serve civilians. That is you know, and people have got to remember that. And the other thing people have to remember is this whole police state thing that we have going on. Policing the state. The state is the family. If what you are doing is not protecting, what is it Americans say, protect and serve? If you're not protecting and serving the family unit or the individuals within society, you are harming them. If you are, whenever a police, I mean, people need to go recrossing the line. They need to, like, if they want to know where all my legal knowledge comes from, I am now doing a PhD in international law and social justice, because that's how I float my boat.
And by the way, if anybody wants to find out, they can just go on Amazon, type in Dawn Bates, and they'll find all your books.
just go to my website and find all my books and my client books.
That's right. That's
right. But the thing is, it's like, if you are told something by a police officer that you have to do something and it feels wrong to you, say, are you acting under oath? Because their reaction to that question will tell you whether what they are asking you to do is right and legal, or whether they're doing something that even they know is wrong. Okay. When the police put me in handcuffs, that was assault. When they put me in the police car and took me and they kidnapped me and my children, that's 20 years in prison. The moment a police officer touches you against your will, that's assault. That's 5 years. If they're acting outside of the oath that they have taken to protect and serve the state. Okay. And this is the thing, people don't know their rights. So people are afraid. People haven't been taught their rights. People haven't been taught about abundance. People haven't been taught how to use their voice. And the thing is, when we learn or we unlearn what the education system has taught us. Now, just so that other people know, I am not only am I a mother, but I've been a teacher, both in state and private, and I've been a school governor. And one of the reasons why I became a school governor was because I wanted to know what the government was sending down to the schools to teach and implement in the schools, because I wanted to know what they were pushing on my children. I took my children out of school and I unschooled them. And then I shared with my children the reports I was getting down from central government through my governorship.
I mean, you have unpacked so much. I'm just struggling to. I was like, oh, okay, what shall we talk about here? But I mean, a couple of things. The two things for me, the biggest takeaways is that to unlearn what we have been taught. Look, I mean, goes Don Bates for president. He's taking the words out of my mouth. Yes.
You know how many times I get told that?
But the question is, president of which country? Because you're a globetrotter.
Yeah, I don't live anywhere. I live everywhere and nowhere. You should see the looks on people's faces, especially in the hotels I go to. What's your address? I'm like, what's the address of the hotel? And I just write the address of the hotel. They're like, huh? No, your address. I was like, this is my address now.
I would love it if you would say, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
I did. Well, they do, because hotels do ask you, like, where did you live before? And if I've been sailing, I'll be like, okay, Atlantic Ocean, and that's it. Or like, if I've been on a boat for the last 7-10 days, and that's my last address. And they're like, and then like, what? Yeah,
do you get eyeballs rolling at you?
And then they do the thing that my dog did when I said, Kelt, I'm going to write a book. And he's like, yes, mummy. You know, he does the dog head thing.
They're probably thinking, I think Dawn's on something.
What's she been smoking or putting in the chili? Are they proper mushrooms?
Proper mushrooms. But yeah, I mean, we have to unlearn so many things and have the courage to do so as well.
We just have to believe in ourselves.
Just have to believe in ourselves.
You know, and if we need to listen to ourselves more than we listen to other people. I mean, everything I've said to you today, take it or leave it. You know, I'm just one person in God knows how many billion in the world there are now. I mean, apparently they're all dying from this thing. It's so deadly it needs a marketing campaign and a reminder every day, because people are wearing nappies in the wrong places. But but the thing is, when we you know, and this is a conversation we were having the other, like a couple turned up here at this posada that I'm in, and I felt her fear. I was like, oof. Okay, I'm going to my room. I'm like, dinner's going to be ready in 5 minutes. Dinner's going to be ready in 5 minutes. I'm going to carry on. I'm just going to put my headphones in and pretend I'm listening to music. That's a great thing. Just put your headphones in and like pretend you're listening to music or a podcast or something. People ignore you. It's great.
I do that during my school runs.
Yeah. Oh, school playgrounds. That's a whole other conversation.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, my friend Shahada's on it. I don't know if she's still on it, but yeah, she's also a teacher, and we've had many conversations around the education system, and not just, we're not talking about UK. I know we've
global.
Global from US. I've seen it everywhere. You know, we've
Egypt.
Yeah, everywhere.
You've read Wallahi, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Kaleem, for joining us. There you go. I'll leave.
Shukran, Kaleem.
This is one of the best. Kaleem, thank you so much. Kaleem's on board.
Yeah. The ballot papers are in the post. You can find them in a bag by the side of the road.
Well, thank you, Kaleem, for joining us. But yeah, I mean, the whole reason, you know, we wanted to do this is that we want people to be able to make their own, you know, make their own decisions and choose for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. Do not just blindly believe the mainstream media. You know, I now teach my children the same thing, because they're at an impressionable age. Well, they're a bit older now, but you know, when they were, that you have to let them know that you've got to be able to think for yourself. Do not just blindly follow like a sheep, because then you will end up where you don't want to be.
Well, this is the thing, right? And I'll use an Islamic example. In Surah Baqarah, for those of you who don't know that, I think that's the second chapter into the Quran. And it says, do not follow your forefathers blindly. Okay. And when I was part of the Islamic community in the UK, oh, that was so much fun.
I'm sure you've got hundreds of stories from there.
Yeah, haven't I just? But one of the things, it's like, if in all the holy texts, not just the Quran, it tells us not to follow forefathers blindly in one way or another. It tells us to question everything.
Yeah.
Okay. The only reason why we are taught not to question is so we can be controlled. Yeah. And the only reason why you would control something is if you were afraid of it, or afraid of what that might happen. Okay. The reason why parents don't want their children to argue with them is because the parents don't want to be proven wrong. I've encouraged my children to disagree with me. I'm like, if you don't agree with me, you need to tell me you don't agree with me.
Yeah.
Because in the family home, it's a
safe
space for you to learn how to disagree with people. Their dad is an Arab. Their mother's an argumentative little sod, apparently, according to my mother. Right. So my boys have got the perfect breeding ground to have debates. We love family debates and family meetings. Even now, my ex-husband and I, we've been divorced for 8 years. We're still really great friends. People are like, okay, that's a different life, right? But or go to the truth serum. Him and I had an amazing conversation on that. And that's my podcast that's about to be launched, isn't it, Amber?
Yes. We're going to share the links to all of that.
But the thing is, it's like, when your children get to voice their opinions within the family home and challenge you as a parent and challenge your knowledge, this is a great thing. And when you say no to that, that's your ego. So when someone tells you, no, you're wrong, say, well, where am I wrong? Help me learn to be right. When people say to me, oh, you're always right, I'm like, yeah, I know I'm always right, because I've been wrong so many times, and I've asked people to show me what's right. Show me the evidence. Show me something new. Something I might have spoken about last week, I might not agree with today, because I've learned something new. And in Islam, even the 4 imams all said, do not write down what I say, because I might learn something new tomorrow, which would change my mind. To never follow, do not follow me. Do not, Imam Malik said it. You know, he was one of the ones that would say it regularly. You know, and this is the thing, it's like when we believe, if we believe in God, or we believe in whatever we want to call it, universe, source, Allah, Dieu, the creator, G-D, whatever, you know, whatever you want to call this entity, this energy, this life force. If you believe in the holy text, it says, fear no one but God. Okay? Why are you fearing the government? Why are you fearing other people? That doesn't make sense. You're going against your own holy text and your own beliefs. I'm prepared to go to prison for my beliefs. I've been to prison for my beliefs.
I was going to say that. And Paul's asking, what do you think they're afraid of, Dawn? The truth, maybe?
Everyone's afraid of the truth. Everyone's afraid of their own truth. Everyone is afraid of it going, bugger, I've believed that for so long. Now I've got to unpack that. And what does that say? People are afraid of being wrong. People are afraid of the truth. And you know what? I was talking to a friend of mine, Renelle, in Australia. She goes, one of the things that she's really afraid of is that the rebels like me, I own being a rebel, bring it on. You know, call me a rebel, call me an activist. But the thing is, if we look at it from a business point of view, and we look at, say, someone like Gary Hamel, who wrote Join the Revolution, to be one of the best business people and the best business leaders, you have to be an activist. You have to bring activism into the boardroom. You have to rock the boat, to use a sailor's analogy, or you know, upset the apple cart or whatever it is, because the thing is, you're pushing boundaries. We wouldn't be sat here, I wouldn't be here in Brazil, you're in the UK, and everyone that's joined us from around the world, we wouldn't be able to do this if people didn't push the boundaries, if people didn't seek the truth. We wouldn't be able to know that the hummingbirds that have been floating around me here are hummingbirds, and that they're different to a butterfly. You know, why? Well, they still fly, they've both got wings. Well, how is that different to an aeroplane? You know, even an aeroplane, we had to push the boundaries, we had to find the truth. How does our body work?
Paul's asked a great question. Do you think the world is ready for the truth? I've often
the world's not ready for me, Paul.
That's for sure.
But the world needs me. No, and this is the thing, I own my truth. I know I'm not for everybody. I don't care. I won't work with everybody. I have people reproach me to work with them all the time, and I'm like, no, we're not aligned. You know, and it's not that. And also understanding the difference between releasing and rejecting. I release people from my space a lot, and I reject certain things. I've had to delete a lot of people recently. Like, I can't have you in my space. People are afraid, not just of the global truth, but they're afraid of their own truth. And like like Renelle and I were saying, all of these people that are having this thing, because it's not a vaccine, because it's not, let's be honest. It's a genetic modification of the human being. If you believe in God, why do you think you need that? Because if you believe that God created you perfectly and you've got a great immune system, you don't need it. But that aside, one of the things that Renelle and I were saying was, if it comes down to it that we are correct, that this is not good, and the human population, because this is an international genocide that we're talking about, you know, let's be honest, because I love being honest, and you've heard that many times throughout this interview, right? Or this conversation. It's not an interview, it's a conversation. I hope that I'm wrong, because that will mean people that I love dearly aren't going to be here in 2, 3, 5, 10 years. But they might, again, they might go and get hit by a bus on the way to Tesco. Hopefully they're on the way to Waitrose or the farmer's market, not Tesco. But because, you know, again, look at Tesco. Tessa Cohane, the wife of one of the world's biggest Zionists. People don't understand, and it's about seeing. And this is, again, how we build our authority. when we learn and we unlearn what we've been taught in school. Because when you look at the education system was started to put people into a factory to get them to obey and to follow what the higher classes wanted them to learn, to serve their riches, to serve their lifestyle and what they wanted.
Form the assembly line.
And the thing is, one of the reasons why they don't want us to unschool our children is because when we unschool them and we educate them ourselves, then they ask different questions. Khalid, when he went back to Birkdale, which was the boys' school in Sheffield, he was in sociology, and I'll always remember his teacher coming out. I can see it as clear as day right now. She came out of the classroom and like out the front doors. Nasa's run up to me and she's shaking her head. I'm like, oh my God, what's been said in class now? Like, what's been said? And they'd been learning about the Holocaust. And she had said, well, today we're going to learn about the Holocaust. Khalid, which one? That was his question. So which one?
We only talk about one. Yes. I love that.
And all the other kids in the class were like, there's only one. Are you stupid or what? You know, like how they do in the class. And she goes, no, Khalid's right. And like, and his, you know, East Timor, the ones in Mexico, the ones in Bosnia, and you know, and all of these other ones that are happening around the world. The Palestinian one that's happening at the moment. Well, it's been going on for far too long. Ignored for much longer. But again, it's like when we educate our children, when we have the confidence to educate our children, when we have the confidence to learn for ourselves, instead of believing that, you need to listen to me, I'm the expert. I did 3 years at university, goodness knows how long ago. And I'm the other thing is, like, I don't know who it was, I don't know whether it was one of the big leaders, said that if he walked into a hospital with a white coat on and a stethoscope, people would automatically respect him. Because he's seen as a doctor. Okay. I know my body. I could tell you right now which one of my lumbars are out. And I know I really need a good neck cracking. I so need it. I'm like, they don't really do chiropractic here. I really wish they did. I want one of those things where you can hang it and then you just put your head in it and it just drops your spine. I just so want one of those. But again, we have been so taught that we don't know what we're thinking about. We don't know that we can't be trusted. We can't trust ourselves to trust our own learning. We can't be trusted. That's why we need to have good old, daddy, whoever it is that's running our country. Or, I mean, again, I sent you a meme. People haven't seen this. But look at the health ministers from around the world. Do you really want to take advice from them? Seriously? Not on your Nelly.
Hungary, you said, right?
Belgium. Yeah, I know where am I taking that. And I remember people attacked me. They're like, oh, you're fat shaming. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not fat shaming at all. That person's a health minister.
Exactly.
Why is that person a health minister? That person's not healthy.
It's like going to a dentist who's got all broken teeth or black teeth, and then he goes, I'm the expert in making your teeth corrected or make your teeth white. It's the same thing.
Absolutely. I'm not going to go and ask someone to teach me Portuguese if they don't speak a word of Portuguese. I'm not going to go and ask somebody to coach me into being an author if they've never written a book. Why would I do that? And that's just مجنونة جدا قوي for all the Arabic listeners out there.
And I think,
or muito loco for the Spanish and Portuguese.
What is it? Muito loco.
Muito loco. Really loco. Crazy.
Muito loco.
Or what I can't, like, now I've said it in Portuguese. 𝙧𝙚𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙧𝙧, really crazy.
Really good.
In Arabic.
I think one thing to point out here is that, and Paul was questioning some of it as well, that we're not saying that what we are right, and you're wrong, or everybody. What we are saying is that we all have a choice to question what we are forced to do, right? If you have done your research and you feel good about it, and you
share it with me,
great, yeah, and that's great,
but this is the thing about culture, and I really want Ricardo on here. Where are you, Ricardo?
I know, I was hoping Ricardo would be on here.
Like, where is he?
We're missing Ricardo.
But even if you've got someone like Scott Page, right? He wrote the book, I can't remember what the title was, something about diversity. But the different ideas we have, the different voices in the conversation, the different, say for example, I have a virtual private network. Okay, and I was showing Ali, the guy who runs this place, amazing chef, by the way. So once I've left and I'm on to my second, third place from here, I'll let you know where I am, because incognito, little Miss Dawn Bates over here, nothing little about me. But when I have a virtual private network, and it's so essential that we have one of those, because when we research something, like so I'm in Brazil, but if I change my virtual private network to somewhere, say like Joburg, or I change it to Madrid, or I change it to Melbourne, the results I get are really different. Okay, if I then go to Islamabad, but then I go to Cairo, and then I go to how do you say it in English? Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Saudi.
Yeah, Saudi.
It's like the other day I was talking to someone, and I'm like, and he was like, I don't know where that is. I was like, but you just said you were in Egypt. And then I was like, oh, okay, Hurghada, not Radata.
Thank you, Paul, for joining us. Paul saying goodbye.
But again, it's like, once you start looking at information, or you're using these different platforms, and you're seeing how much of the evidence is being removed, or the research is being removed, or you're seeing that, okay, I'm searching for this, but I can't find it in this country. We need diversity. So if what I'm saying is to be incorrect, share it with me. Don't have a go at me because something I am saying is upsetting you, because you know something different. Show me where I'm wrong. Show me I'm different. We need different religions. We need different social economics. We need different ethnicities. We need different belief systems and education systems, and education and academia very different. Very different. Yeah. We need to be different so that we can come to a different solution. We can come together to learn more. If I'm just a small fish swimming in a pond of small fishes, we're all just small fish. But if again, like you were saying, if I'm a small fish and I jump into a pond with lots of bigger fish, then I've got to learn to navigate those fish, because I'm fish food.
Yeah.
I need to figure out how to avoid them eating me. So I'm learning new skills. Yeah. But then because I'm going to be eating a lot of other things they're not going to be eating, because I can get into the little places. I'm going to grow into a big fish. Yeah.
And if you think about it, it's common sense, but a lot of people don't see it that way. For various reasons.
They don't have time. They don't, because they haven't been gifted the time, because they haven't been gifted the education. But this is when I get really quite frustrated, because it's like, if you can learn to twerk on TikTok and you can learn how to do all of these Giphy things and put captions on, and you can learn how to do all these things on YouTube, then you can learn about the important stuff. If you're more worried about looking good for other people, you're people pleasing.
Which I think is a lot of people.
It's the majority. That's why
Majority of people.
my authority mastermind is only for the 1% within the 1%.
Yeah.
Because there's the 1% of the world that's not interested in what people think about them.
Yeah.
And it's the 1% within that 1% that are actually going to join me to actually write a book and actually go through the 7 months with me and my 6 other experts.
Yeah.
To actually complete the authority mastermind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can create powerful, positive change in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've just shared the link for everybody. If they wanted to find out more about Dawn, you can check out her website at dawnbates.com. And Dawn, what is your social media tag? It's at Dawn Bates, right? On LinkedIn?
For LinkedIn, it's linkedin.com/in/Dawn Bates.
Yeah, it's Dawn Bates.
But if you're on Instagram and Bookface, it's at Real Dawn Bates.
Oh,
so Bookface is Facebook. That's not a new platform, but I should probably create one.
Okay, so I'm just putting that over here. That's your LinkedIn.
I'm whacked, did Paul say?
Are you reading Paul's comments now?
I like him. He can come again.
Yeah. You guys need to. I think you will have a good discussion going. Real Dawn Bates. Yeah, that's for your other social media. And once on YouTube, you will find all the other links when we all go live. I can't believe, Dawn, we've gone over. We're 1 hour 20 minutes into this conversation.
Oh, we're just warming up then.
Oh my goodness. All righty.
We should do this again. It's been fun.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Dawn, for
it's been a joy. Absolute joy. I always enjoy speaking with you.
The feeling is mutual, and people don't know we actually have kids the same age as well. So we have,
we do. We talk about biryani quite a bit.
Yes, and parenting and all of that.
And I don't think there's a subject we haven't covered yet.
No,
I don't think.
I know. Politics, health,
religion,
relationships, everything.
Yeah,
business,
friendships.
everything.
Oh God, yeah.
Everything.
But that's the mark of, when you have respect for someone, you can go there. No subject is off limits.
Yeah. And for everybody who's not seen the live, you can catch the full video and the clips of it on my channel, bit.ly/spreading ideas with Amber Khan. You'll find in the coming week or so all the bite-sized conversations from this whole session today. Or you can watch the entire thing if you so want to on my YouTube channel as well.
Or you can listen to it while you're making dinner.
Yes. Watch us or hear us. You can do either one of those. Thank you, Dawn, so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, as always.
All right, take care.
Thank you so much to everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.